Good day, I am Teacher Jeremy Mirador and I will be with you for today's session. And it's a great opportunity to be here and to share a meaningful learning experience with all of you. And for today's discussion, we will be focusing on a very interesting topic, which is behaviorism. And this concept plays an important role in the field of education and helps us better understand how learning happens inside the classroom. And throughout our discussion, we will explore what it is, why it matters, and how it can be applied in teaching situations. And I am looking forward to our lesson and I hope you're all ready to participate and learn together. But before we begin our lesson, let us first start our class with a short prayer to set the right atmosphere for learning. Let us bow our heads and feel the presence of the Lord.
Please bow your heads and let us pray. Angel of God, my guardian dear, to whom God's love commits me here. Ever this day be at my side, to light and guard, to rule and guide. Amen.
Now for the attendance checking to monitor our class right now. If I call your name, just say present. Proceed with our lesson, I would like to remind everyone of our classroom rules, and these rules will help us have a smooth, organized, and respectful learning environment. So for our classroom rules, first, treat everyone with respect and kindness. Next, listen when the teacher or a classmate is speaking. Third, raise your hand before talking or asking a question. Fourth, keep your hands, feet, and objects to yourself. And lastly, do not litter. Keep the classroom clean. Before we start our lesson, let me ask you a simple question to get your minds active. Think about this. For me, the best reward that motivates me to learn is blank. Take a moment to reflect on what reward makes you excited or inspired to do your best. It could be praise, a high grade, a simple good job, or a small treat, or even the feeling of understanding something new. Now I am gonna give you 2 minutes to think and reflect of your answers, and then put your answers on the comment section below. Now let's move on to our topic for today, behaviorism. Behaviorism is a learning theory that focuses on observable behaviors, the actions that we can see, not the thoughts or feelings inside the mind. And according to this theory, children learn through their environment by responding to stimuli and experiencing consequences for their actions. Sa madaling salita, nakatuon ang behaviorism sa kung ano ang nakita nating ginagawa ng isang bata. Natututo sila base sa kanilang kapaligiran at sa mga gantimpala o parusa na kanilang nararanasan. This means that when a behavior is followed by a reward, the learners is more likely to repeat it. But when a behavior leads to a punishment, the learner tends to avoid doing it again. And one key idea in behaviorism is this, which is also said by the behaviorist B.F. Skinner. Behavior that is rewarded tends to be repeated. Behavior that is punished tends to decrease. And this idea is strongly connected to the work of B.F. Skinner, like what I told earlier. Ibig sabihin, kapag may ganti ang mabuting gawa, inuulit ito. Kapag may parusa sa maling ginawa, iniiwasan na itong gawin ulit. And later on, we'll discuss the other more concepts about behaviorism. Now that we have an idea of what behaviorism is, let's take a closer look at its important concepts. And these concepts explain how and why behavior changes, and they guide teachers in shaping positive classroom habits. First is the stimulus and response. The first key concept is stimulus and response. A stimulus is anything that prompts or triggers a behavior. A response is the behavior or the action that follows. Sa madaling salita, ang stimulus ay ang parang hudyat o senyales at ang response ay ang ginagawa ng bata pagkatapos marinig o makita ang isang hudyat. And this idea shows that learning often happens through simple patterns. When something happens, the learner reacts. And you can think of many classroom examples. For an instance, when the teacher rings a bell, it's stimulus. And children stop what they're doing and line up, that's response. And over time, children learn this routine because they repeatedly experience the same signal at the same expected action. For the second one, classical conditioning. The second concept is called classical conditioning, developed by Ivan Pavlov. This involves learning through association. A previously neutral stimulus becomes connected to another stimulus that already has a meaning. Sa madaling paliwanag, natututo ang bata kapag may dalawang bagay na palaging magkasama hanggang masanay sila at otomatiko nang tumugon. And this type of learning is common in routines. For example, a teacher plays soft music before nap time every single day. At first, the music has no meaning. But after many repetitions, the children begin to associate the music with resting. Soon, they feel sleepy whenever they hear that music, even outside the nap time. And this shows how the environment shapes behavior without the teacher even giving instructions. The third concept is operant conditioning, introduced by B.F. Skinner. This focuses on learning through consequences. The idea is that the outcome of a behavior influences whether the behavior will be repeated. Ibig sabihin nito, mas inuulit ng bata ang isang gawain kapag may magandang ibinabalik sa kanila at iniiwasan nila ito kapag may hindi ka nais-nais na balik or consequence. There are two main types, reinforcement, which strengthens behavior, and punishment, which weakens behavior. For example, a child receives a sticker for cleaning up toys. Because the sticker is rewarding, the child is more likely to clean it again next time. And this is called positive reinforcement. And it is very common in early childhood settings because teachers use operant conditioning every day through praise, feedback, rewards, and consistent consequences to promote responsibility, respect, and independence. Reinforcement. It is a key concept in behaviorism that explains how desirable behaviors can be strengthened through consequences, and it increases the likelihood that a behavior will be repeated by either adding something pleasant or removing something unpleasant. Sa madaling salita, inuulit ng bata ang mabuting gawain kapag may magandang nangyari pagkatapos nila itong gawin. Positive reinforcement occurs when something good is added, such as praising a child for sharing toys, which encourages them to repeat the behavior. And negative reinforcement, on the other hand, involves taking away something undesirable, like allowing children to skip an extra task after behaving well all week, making the positive behavior more likely to continue. Through consistent reinforcement, teachers can effectively shape and guide children's actions in the classroom. Punishment is a behaviorist concept that aims to decrease the likelihood of a behavior being repeated by applying consequences that discourage it. It can take two forms. Positive punishment, which involves adding something unpleasant, such as giving a timeout after a child hits a classmate, and negative punishment, which involves taking away something pleasant, like removing computer time when a student does not follow directions. Sa madaling salita, ang punishment ay paraan para mabawasan o maiwasan ang hindi ka nais-nais na gawain ng isang bata. And when reinforcement strengthens behavior, punishment weakens it by making the learner associate the unwanted action with an unfavorable outcome, helping teachers manage and reduce inappropriate behaviors in the classroom. Next is shaping. It is a behaviorist technique used to teach a new or complex skill by reinforcing small, successive steps toward the final behavior. Instead of expecting a child to master the task immediately, the teacher rewards each correct step, guiding the learner gradually. Sa madaling salita, tinuturuan ang bata ng paunti-unti at pinupuri sa bawat tamang hakbang. For example, when teaching a child to write their name, the teacher might first praise proper pencil holding, then the writing of the first letter, and so on. And through consistent reinforcement of these small improvements, the child eventually learns the complete behavior with confidence. Next to that is modeling or imitation. Rooted in Albert Bandura's social learning theory, explains that children learn many behaviors simply by watching others and copying what they see. This means that adults Teachers and peers serve as a powerful examples that shape how children act, speak, or interact sa napapanood at pagaya. For example, when a child observes the teacher and classmates consistently saying thank you or salamat, the child eventually imitates this polite behavior. Modeling highlights the importance of demonstrating positive actions because learners or these students naturally follow what is shown to them, not just what is said. Next is behavior modification. It uses behavior's principles to change, guide, or manage students' actions in the classroom. And it focuses on increasing desirable behaviors and reducing unwanted ones by carefully applying reinforcement and consequences. Sa madaling salita po, ito ay paraan ng paghubog ng ugali ng isang bata gamit ang mga gantimpala at tamang pag-redirect sa kanila. For example, a teacher may use a reward chart to encourage attendance or participation, allowing students to earn stickers or points for positive actions. And over time, this consistent rewards help students develop better habits and become more responsible learners. Next to that is what we call extinction. It occurs when a previously learned behavior gradually disappears because it is no longer being reinforced. When the reward, attention, or response that once encouraged, the behavior is removed, the behavior is naturally fades. Sa madaling paliwanag, unti-unting nawawala ang isang ugali kapag hindi na ito napapansin o nabibigyan ng tamang atensyon. For instance, if a child keeps calling out answers but the teacher stops responding or giving attention to that behavior, the child eventually stops doing it. An extinction helps teachers reduce disruptive behaviors by simply removing the reinforcement that keeps them giving. Lastly is the schedule of reinforcement. It refers to the timing and frequency of giving reinforcement, and it plays a big role in how quickly and how well a behavior is learned and maintained. Reinforcement can be continuous, where the child is rewarded every time the behavior occurs, or intermittent, where the reward is given only sometimes. Sa madaling salita, ito ay kung gaano kadalas nagbibigay ng gantimpala para mapanatili ang magandang gawain. For example, a teacher might give stickers every day at first to build a habit, which is continuous, and then shift to giving stickers only at the end of the week to keep the child motivated even without constant rewards, which is intermittent. And by adjusting this reinforcement, teachers also help children develop consistent and long-term positive reinforcements or behavior, which is very important for the young learners like them. In early childhood settings, behaviorism is widely applied in classroom management by using reinforcement and clear expectations to guide children's actions, and teachers often use positive reinforcement, such as the praise, stars, or stickers, to encourage desirable behaviors and help children form good habits. Sa madaling salita, pinapalakas ang mga gantimpala ang tamang asal ng isang bata. And at the same time, teachers establish clear rules and apply consistent consequences so children understand exactly what is expected of them. For example, a teacher may give a sticker every time a child follows a rule, such as lining up when the bell rings, and use the same consequence each time a rule is broken. And through consistency and positive reinforcement, children learn routines more easily and develop responsible behavior within the classroom. Next, to motivate young children, we can use simple reward systems that make positive behavior exciting and meaningful. Kids respond really well to praise, stars, and stickers like what we know. So whenever they clean up, listen carefully, or help a classmate, we can acknowledge it right away. And even a simple "great job, kid" can boost their confidence. And we can also let them earn stars for these good behaviors. And once they collect enough stars, they receive a small reward, like choosing a class activity or picking up their seat for the day. By giving them consistent praise and rewards, children feel valued and become more eager to repeat their positive behaviors in the classroom. Now let's move on to behavioral support plans. These are simple, structured plans that help guide children toward better behavior. Lalo na kapag may paulit-ulit na challenging behavior, ang goal ng plan ay hindi para parusahan ang bata, but to understand why the behavior happens and to teach them a better way to respond. In early childhood setting, a behavioral support plan usually includes identifying the behavior, understanding the triggers, and choosing strategies to support the child. For example, if a child keeps shouting during a group time, the plan may include giving visual reminders, offering choices, or reinforcing quiet behavior with praise. Sa madalang salita, ang behavioral support plan helps us proactively support the child rather than reactively correcting them. And it creates consistency, clarity, and a positive path for the child to learn better habits. With the right support, children develop self-control and more positive ways of expressing themselves. Now, for this slide, you can clearly see all the key theorists and all their major contributions as well as their application in the early childhood education. Now, for our activity time, identify the concept. This is what we call sorting activity, and for our objective, identify and correctly classify various behaviorism concepts such as stimulus-response, reinforcement, punishment, classical conditioning, operant conditioning, modeling, shaping, extinction, and schedule of reinforcement. By analyzing and responding to different classroom-based scenarios presented during the activity, and later on, all the scenarios will be presented in our slideshow. And then after that, all the answers will also be presented in our slide. So just answer quietly, and then when you're done, I'm gonna paste all the answers on the slideshow. Thank you. Now for our generalization, if I can clearly see or perceive that you listen to our discussion, you can answer this in a one clean sheet of paper. These 3 questions will identify what you have learned in our whole lesson proper. First question, how does behaviorism explain the way children learn? Second, why are consequences and rewards important in the classroom? And third, can we apply these concepts when teaching young children? Now answer quietly. Now, to end our discussion, remember, behaviorism helps us understand that children learn from their environment. And behaviors that are rewarded are repeated, and behaviors that are not reinforced or are punished tend to decrease. That's why teachers use these principles to promote positive behavior and guide learning. Thank you so much. Now, for our next discussion, I want you all to answer this assignment. Again, I am Teacher Jiro Mirador. See you in our next class discussion. It's really an honor to learn this behaviorism with all of you. Hoping for our next meet. Thank you.